Good morning, people. Morning, morning, morning. Give it a couple minutes like I normally do to wait for people to click on, get their reminders, join the stream. Good morning, Kitty Q. Welcome to this morning's coffee brew. I hope you had a wonderful week. Thank you for joining us today. Cement Shoes, good morning. Welcome to this morning's coffee brew. I trust that you had a great week as well. Thank you for joining us. Sprinkled Donut, Mike Stevens, good morning. Allah Akbar. Good morning and welcome to this morning's coffee brew. Broken Justice, thank you for joining us this morning and good morning. I am doing well. Broken Justice, thank you for asking. I'm glad you could all be here with me this morning for this morning's coffee brew crime recap show. Francie, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope we are all well this morning. Gayla, good morning. Hello, Will and friends and checkers. Good morning. Welcome to this morning's coffee brew. Glad you could be here with us this morning, Gayla. Black Eagle, good morning. Welcome to this morning's coffee brew. I hope you had a wonderful week. I'm glad you could be here with us this morning. Give it another minute here, and then we're gonna get the party started. Waiting for everybody to get their notifications and click on join stream. I just got notification at like 1 minute after the start of the stream. That's YouTube for you though. It's better to write it on a calendar or take a post-it note or something and put it next to your computer or your device, whichever you're watching on or taking part in on. Yes, Kitty Q. That's a good clue. Make sure everyone is on top chat. Live chat seems to work better if you're on X, formerly Twitter, but and for 99% of all depending on what you're watching through, top chat is the best. Or all chat, not top chat. All right, let's get this party going, ladies and gentlemen. Coffee Brew Weekly Recap Show. Da-da-da-da. As I do every day, every time I stream, I must read this because of the different venues that I stream to. I am streaming from my own software, and I'm streaming out to several different venues, social media platforms. But anyways, the following content contains news and utterly ridiculous minor bouts of sarcasm. The high likelihood of spontaneous face palming, viewer sanity may be challenged, and laughter is highly probable, as is tears. Proceed with caution and calmly in a comfy chair. Possible snacks and wine or alcohol may be needed. You've been warned, but in all seriousness, this content is restricted from the age of 16 plus on every platform. I am not responsible for removing people who are under the age of 16, nor do I have any responsibility for somebody who accesses this content, who is under the age of 16. With that said, keep in mind before we start, once the national news became a profitable division of media companies, the national news became less about news and more about stroking the egos of their audiences. And that is for every type of media company. It doesn't matter if it's on the right, left, or if they say that they are independent down the middle. It is less about the news and about stroking their audience. Even NPR, and everybody from the left, like the CNNs, the rights, the Fox Newses, everybody on each side, they stroke their audience. What does our audience want to hear about? If they don't want to hear about it, they're going to tune out and they're going to watch someone else, and we're not going to make money for our advertisers. Therefore, we're not going to make money for our stockholders and everybody else. So just keep that in mind every day. When you think you are reading the news, you are not getting the entire story. You are getting a slanted story. It doesn't matter, again, where it comes from. It's all the same. You, as a viewer, and the person who is ingesting the news, needs to spend the time to dig into the story more if you really want to have a complete picture of what's happening. This is the recap show for September 15th through the 21st of 2024. Story number 1. Charlie Hunnam is set to play Ed Gein in season 3 of the Netflix show Monsters. I don't know if you've tuned in to watch Monsters, but it's a pretty good show. You may remember Charlie from his role on Sons of Anarchy. I provided a link there to People magazine if you want to read more about it. You may be able to click on it now or afterwards, or just cut and paste it into another browser and read more about it. Season 1 of the Netflix special show Monsters had covered Jeffrey Dahmer. Season 2 covered the Menendez brothers. Charlie wasn't in either of those, the first 2 series. He's going to be in playing Ed Gein for the third season. But Neely Nash and Glenda Cleveland are in the first 2. If you don't know who Glenda Cleveland is, well, I'd avoid Jeffrey Dahmer in anything that he may hand you. Story number 2. Jennifer Soto. Why isn't she in jail? And if she does get convicted of a crime, why isn't she getting a stiffer sentence? More than 4 dozen survivors of sexual abuse, that's what SA is, have signed a letter begging to know justice answer. Why isn't she doing life without parole? They believe she knew what was happening. It did nothing to protect Maddie, otherwise known as Madeline Soto, her daughter. Jennifer's last statement to the press, she said, I was oblivious to what was happening. No, there isn't anybody in their right goddamn mind that believes that, Jennifer. We know you knew something was going on. If you didn't know 100%, you knew what was happening, and you were afraid of him, and you were afraid of wrecking the relationship, and you used your daughter as a pawn, and you let her be abused for your own gain. We demand to know and that she be held responsible for what she did, what she knew, and what she had known was taking place. And again, this is a link to the article. The people demand all of that is, it should have quotes around it, because that is from the people who signed the letter to the prosecuting attorney's office asking why she hasn't been charged with more serious crimes, and why she isn't doing life without parole right now. Story number 3. Carly Gregg, this is out of the state of Mississippi. She killed her mother, and then she texted not one, but according to the state, she may have texted as many as 8 of her friends to come over to her house for an emergency that needed to be dealt with right away. When they arrived, a couple of her friends, not all 8 of the people that she texted, showed up at the home. She was excited to show them that she had killed her mother. And she warned them, if you're squeamish about seeing a dead body, and was smiling the entire time. That don't go into the other room to see her. But again, there's the link to the shortened version of it. I use People magazine, a lot of times as the link because people don't have time to read a 4 or 5 page article on it. So I'm giving you a synopsis. Think of People magazine as the Cliff Notes version of the story. But again, you can just search Carly Gregg, the state of Mississippi, and you'll find a much, much more, than what you'll find if I click on the link. But the link is definitely dives into the story itself. It's about, I'd say, 10 paragraphs total, as opposed to the one that's on the Associated Press, AP Newswire, which is like 4.5 pages. So, story number 4. Before I get into story number 4, I need you to think of everything that I'm about to cover with an open mind. Put your political beliefs, your ideologies, and everything aside, and think with a clear, empty mind for what I'm about to tell you for story number 4, because it's important. A lot of people think that me just talking about this story is somehow I am on one political aspect or spectrum over another, which I'm not. I just want you to understand just how ridiculous it is and how, the media and individuals who are in the media are using the media to move you from one side to another, maybe closer to their base, or, the story put in the media to move you farther away from another base. But you have to know the truth and why they're doing it. Okay, so first off, I just skipped forward because I want to show you. This is Chad Daybell's house, as it was the day that Tammy Daybell was murdered, and this is what the house looks like as of September 20th, 24th. They did bulldoze the entire house. And it is gone, and all the outbuildings are going to be soon demolished. The reason why I skipped forward because I want to get this out of the way before we dive into the major story that I wanted to cover today. The nonprofit that has purchased the home, the lot where they've bulldozed the home, is planning on making it into a park, and with a garden, and eventually putting some type of memorial to the events that took place on the property. But in the meantime, it's going to be leveled and it's going to have nothing there at all. But the same, husband and wife who are head of this nonprofit, they do own several other pieces of land that are adjacent or across the road adjacent from this property, farmland, that could be developed down the road into either homes or townhomes. And because there's not enough housing in that area for the people who actually live in that area. And if these other businesses and things fall through, come through to the area, and people need more housing, they could develop it down the road, and it would be a park, somewhere near that development, which would improve the property value. Did they do it for the property value? No. Right now they're taking a hell of a hit because most of the value of this land at the Chad Daybell, former home and outbuildings and everything, most of the value was in the home and the outbuildings. Well, once you demolish them all and level them to the ground and have nothing there at all, only value is the taxation on the land itself. That's all that's of value. There's nothing unique about the land, like you can't see mountains or anything from that piece of land as you could from the neighbor next door or anything else. There's nothing unique about it. All right, in closing and recap, the whole point of this recap show isn't to rehash the same old stories that have been plastered all across your screen by the national media. Let's be real. You've heard enough about those. No, I'm not here to spotlight the underdogs. Those page two blink your eye and you miss it stories actually impact people's lives. yet somehow didn't make the flashy news headlines. I mean, come on, what's more relevant to your day-to-day life? P. Diddy finally getting arrested, or say the insane traffic or rising crime rate in rural America? Which one's going to affect your life more? Tomorrow, are you going to lose money or your job or your belongings because P. Diddy got arrested and we're chasing that celebrity drama? Or the crime rate in your area or crime that is nearby, or maybe it's in a likewise community in another state, but maybe that could happen in your area. That's more likely to affect your life. All right, so this is the story I need you to keep an open mind about. Story number 5. Sassy the cat. Yes, we're going to start about Sassy the cat, who was the center of the story, is alive and well and was found in the family's own basement less than 24 hours after the initial Facebook post. This is the Springfield, Ohio, they're eating cats and dogs story. I'm doing an update again, as it says at the top. From this, I posted this on this thing on the 17th. Things have not changed all that drastically since the 17th, and I know today's the 21st. In light of the Republican mayor of Springfield, Republican governor pleading Trump and Vance not to stop spreading these false rumors that immigrants are eating the pets there, they continue and are going against the wishes and plan to visit the city in the next couple of weeks to talk about illegal Haitian immigrants, who are in the area. When will they stop? Will they ever stop? Now, please take a moment and think about it. What he is saying and why he is saying it. It's to stir up fear in the population. With fear, you stop trusting your neighbors. You question what they're doing. Then look for someone to be tough on, to get rid of the, this fear, this population that you are afraid of. No one is born, with, biased against somebody else, but you learn these things over time in your life. There may be, maybe it's not, a religious sect. Maybe you don't trust Mormons, or you don't trust people who are members of the People's Temple, because they follow Jim Jones. I don't want to be anywhere near those people. Well, maybe you were learned, or you have a bias in your mind that you shouldn't trust people of certain ethnicities or colors or backgrounds, whatever. It works thousands of times, and these things have worked and proven to work since ancient Greeks. You're just the latest sucker if you don't understand why they're doing it. This is not a you against them, nor is this a Democrat versus Republican issue. Both sides do it, and everyone is doing it. Again, since the ancient Greeks, they were able to spread rumors about the other side and convince people because they heard it. They're like, well, if that person did it, it's got to be true. I mean, I heard that he wears inferior sandals or whatever it might have been. People have done this throughout history. It's to control what people are talking about and what they are fearful of. Not everyone is fearful of the boogeyman, but they want to be. The boogeyman in this story is the immigrants. Today it's the immigrants from Haiti. Tomorrow it's another population somewhere else. You think this is just a one-off and never heard of this before? But no, we've never heard of this before. Well, how about these narratives that they have spread over the last 100 years? Illegal aliens from Mexico are rapists, murderers, and from insane asylum. Russian immigrants are connected to the KGB and the mob. Chinese immigrants are connected to communists and are buying up all of our farmland. Vietnamese immigrants who came to America are here to get back at us for our involvement in Vietnam, and they're plotting against us. That's why they've put hundreds of thousands of Americans out of work at nail salons across the country. Oh, need some more? How about Irish immigrants are lazy and all drunks and rape and kill your family? Italians are coming to America to destroy your way of life and religion. Polish people are stupid and destroy your quality of life. White man will rape and steal your land and spread disease and enslave us. Okay, well, that one's true, but all the other ones are complete crap. Again, these stories, over the last 100 years in America, every single one of those is real. As Italians and Irish and Polish, or still people from the former Soviet bloc country, they always politicians spread these fearful fear mongering stories about them and say they're eating your cats and dogs. These people are going to destroy your life. They're going to drive down your property value, and we need to get these people out of the country. They're here illegally, even if they're here seeking asylum and they came through the front door. They want you to believe that every one of them is out to destroy your way of life. And then people are like, hey man, I don't have a job, or I don't have a better job. Those people who came here, they'll work for less. They took all my jobs. Wow. It's true. I hate to say it, but people really believe these things. It starts off small and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until people act out and then they commit violence. Look at Springfield, Ohio, for instance. They've had over 35 bomb threats to elementary, high schools, and other facilities in this. And from these calls are coming in from all over the U.S. and the world. Bomb threats where they have to evacuate, the buildings, shut down schools, close post offices, put the police on heightened 24-hour alert. Fire stations, all vacations canceled because they don't know if one of these are going to turn out real. And if tomorrow afternoon somebody does blow up, a gas station or a post office, the first thing that CNN and every news outlet's going to say is, where were the first responders? Well, they were on vacation because we didn't take the bomb threats serious anymore because they just kept on coming in. Even though they were told, please don't come here. We've had enough of this, this crap that is, driving people away. And no, that'd be the first thing on the nightly news. First responders didn't show up to the bomb threat at the post office, or the local diner. 58 people are dead. And now it's Springfield's fault because they didn't believe it anymore. And that's what's happening. People, they're like, oh my God, it's those people there. They're the ones that are, they're eating our cats and dogs. So let's get back at them. Let's destroy something of theirs. And the same thing, it's not just, about certain ethnicities, that you can see the same thing happen over and over again across the world against different religions. Anything, oh my God, they're Muslim. They've got to be evil. These people over here, they're, Lutherans. Gotta watch out for those Lutherans. But, they're Baptist, or they're Mormon, or, they're Hindu, or whatever it might be. They're evil. We don't understand them. We're fearful of them because we don't understand them. Again, it's the same narrative that you just change one thing out over another. And again, I cannot, make this clear enough. It happens on each and every side of the political aisle. The ones in the middle, the moderates, the extremists, it happens. They spread these things over and over again because they're only looking out for their own interest. Okay, it is now time for, is this story fake or real? Again, every one of these stories have been widely circulated on the internet and have at least 10,000, views, and some of them have hundreds of thousands of views. And only one of these stories is real. All of the other two, there's three total, one's real and two are fake. You do not have to tell me which one is fake. Just tell me which one is real. So this is how it works again. I'll present you three stories. One of them is 100% real, while the other two are completely fake, like I just said. Sure, they might have a sprinkle of truth here or there, but they've been twisted to fit a particular narrative or political agenda. Your job simply is to tell me which one is real by commenting either 1, 2, or 3. There's no need to explain again which one is fake. Just focus on finding the truth. With that in mind, here is your first one. Story number one. An unknown good citizen, Seattle, Washington, deposited $31,190 via a cashier's check into the mail slot of a local nonprofit, writing in the memo section, please use to cover rent, after a story broke that the runaway teen shelter was looking at eviction because bad weather had shut down their 2 annual fundraisers. Is this a real story or is this fake? Again, only one of the 3 stories is real. 2 of them are fake. Just pick out the real one. Story number 2. London, England. There is a new song out there worldwide now that you can stream and buy, and you may have heard of the artist before. This is a brand new song by Lennon and McCartney. The song is titled Primrose Hill. Is this the real story or is it a fake story? Now we go on to story number 3, the final story. Again, only one is real and 2 of them are fake. Story number 3. 2024 has broken a new record, a record that no one had hoped would ever have been broken. So far as of September of 2024, more YouTube creators have been arrested for domestic violence than in any other year since the site opened to creators in 2002. This is out of Burbank, California, supposedly. So which one of the 3 stories is real? Is it story number 1, story number 2, or story number 3? And I'll give you 5 minutes to think about it. Again, if you want to use Google or Bing or whatever search engine you want, phone a friend, reach over and wake your hubby up in the easy chair and shake him and say, ask him which one he thinks is real. Yell out the window, ask the person behind the counter at the Love's truck stop, whatever it might be, wherever you are, do it. It's not cheating. But again, I'll tell you right now, when it's right there in red. Google is not your friend in this. Some of these stories show up on, if you click the headline, I found a match. Is it real? By clicking on it, and then you have to read the entire article to find out that it was based off the parody from the Onion News Network. But Google will come up really quickly and say that there's a match. But is it a parody of a news article from the Onion Network, or is it something that somebody just copy and pasted and made up completely? One of these stories is real, and the other 2 are fake. Which one is it? And good morning, friendly talker. I'm glad you could be here with us this morning. Didn't hear story number 1 or 2. Sorry. Now I'll go back for you, Gayla, really quickly. I got time. You're here on, so. All right. Story number 1, Gayla, is an unknown good citizen deposited $31,190 via a cashier's check into the mail slot of a local nonprofit, writing in the memo section, please use to cover rent, after a story broke the runaway teen shelter was looking at eviction because bad weather had shut down their 2 annual fundraisers. That is story number 1. Story number 2 is out of London, England. There's a new song out there worldwide now for streaming and for you to buy. You may have heard of the artist before. This is a brand new song by Lennon and McCartney. The song is titled Primrose Hill. Story number 3, 2024, Burbank, California. A new record has been set, a record that no one would hope would ever have been broken. So far as of September of 2024, more YouTube creators have been arrested for domestic violence than any other year since the site opened to creators in 2002. Those are the 3 stories. One of them is real, and the other 2 are completely fake. It's only cheating if you consider it cheating, Francie. And good morning if I didn't say hello earlier. Sprinkle donut going with two. Francie says two. Friendly talker, one. One, two, or three. One of them is real, the other ones are not. Thank you for repeating them. I have no clue. Guessing story number three, says Gayla. And good morning, Gemma. I hope you were doing well, sweetheart. Checking is cheating, says Mike. Over the course of the last 2 weeks, Sprinkled Donut, uh, Katie Q donated 5 free memberships. And then she did 5, and then she did 10. Thank you very much, Kitty Q. Again, um, Silver donated 10. So there are a total of 25 free memberships that went out to people, and it just randomly gives them to people who are in the comment section, for what I understand. Um, so you probably got it from Kitty Q last time, but thank you. And incidentally, not that it much matters, but better than 50% actually continue their memberships after the 30-day free trial, which I really appreciate. I really like people who are members, becoming members, because where YouTube takes 30% of all super chats, they only take 18% from people who pay for membership. So I actually get more of that. Trump and Kamala have good things and had their woodwork as long as it isn't Joe. Crooked Joe. That's what he called him, Crooked Joe. Okay. Which one of these is real? Ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer is story number 2. It's actually by both of the former Beatles' sons, John Lennon's son and Paul McCartney's son. The two of them have a new song called Primrose Hill. You can stream it on Apple Music and anywhere else you may stream music. I think it's on Spotify as well. I have seen a couple of illegal downloads and uploads to YouTube of the song, of someone listening to it. I don't know if they're on there, but you have to purchase a song right now. I mean, it may be available for free later on. And thank you to Gemma for being a member for 18 months and Broken Justice for being a member for 40 months. Wow. Thank you very much to both of you. Don't lose hope, ladies and gentlemen. There is a real story out there, like story number 1. That is the one where somebody donated anonymously the money to the runaway, teen shelter. However, this donor is very well known, and the story takes place out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, for a nonprofit that's called Safe Streets Project. The same donor has covered their rent since 1998. However, with the love of everything not true, the internet loves to copy and paste this story to other cities. SSP, i.e., again, Safe Streets Project, was started as a way to offer homeless teens and teens at risk a safe place to go to get off of the streets and avoid gangs and drugs. You will find, if you search long enough, about 26 different versions of that story of someone depositing a check or handing a pile of cash to a nonprofit for runaway teen shelters, or programs that are helping, teens get their GEDs, It's copy and paste. If you look at them side by side, even the same grammar errors are in each one, and all they do is replace one thing with another. But they're all over the internet. But this is the loosely based. This is what the real story is and how it started in 1998. And it's on the internet. And then multiple, different people have copied and pasted it for different towns and jurisdictions and different kinds of shelters and programs. But there is a real program out there like that. Again, thank you everyone for being here this morning for the coffee brew, and the chat is still open if you wish to hang out for even longer with everyone and talk. Cap, I was hoping it was just to see there is good people out there still. There are good people out there. Broken Justice. I knew the first story was too sappy, and I missed 3 because I was typing. See, what was story number 3? First one was about the homeless shelter for teens, shelter for teens, runaways, safe streets. 2 was the music. 3 was, I can't even remember right now. I'm drawing a blank right now. What the hell was 3? I got to go back. Burbank, California. But the YouTubers, I don't know what the actual arrest rate is for YouTube creators, and I don't know how people actually put that together, because everybody I know, and I'm speaking from my professional side of it though, and not like someone just in the true crime genre. Everybody I know is either they have TikTok or Instagram, or they do YouTube, they do every single one of them, at the same time. I know maybe only 3 people who do this full time like I do, and that's all we do is this. Where our others are like, hey, they're just making it's like their side hustle, post into Instagram or TikTok or whatever. 3 was YouTubers getting arrested. Yeah, I like Kitty. I don't know. I haven't seen any stories that actually, say that there's been more domestic violence arrests of YouTubers than anybody else. But it is a story that has been passed around, and it is going around online. But there are channels out there that's all they do is follow, former YouTubers, who've been arrested and have been are in jail for different things. And that's all they do is they find a YouTuber who's been convicted of a crime, and they just talk shit about them constantly and try to dig up anything. And if they can't, they just make it up. And then they put that out there. That's a video. And then they'll make like 10 or 15 more, and then move on to the next channel that's no longer around, and do rinse and repeat the same thing. And that's their entire channel. And now you're 30, 40 different creators down the line, and some of them you'll never find the channel because they made it all up. They ran out of people 20 creators ago that have been arrested and have a public record out there. So they just start making them up. Hey, there's somebody, but they used to go by the channel name of Pepsi Can, or can of Pepsi, all one word. And they've been arrested for make up a scenario, and they're doing, a year in jail for it. And they just make up all the other things to fill in. And the viewer sits there and goes, wow, I never heard of them. And then they go to search them, for can of Pepsi, one word, and they can't find it. Because YouTube took their channel down. No, they never existed. You made it all up. Because they never tell you the name of the person or give you links or give you any kind of citations or anything else, because they made it all up. And you, the viewer, are the person who's the sucker because you fell for it. But that's an entire genre out there. Just like the prank videos, or people who do other things for views. You can be really famous at this, and you can make a lot of money at it. You just got to find a way to find an audience and then make them believe everything that you're saying. You start off small and you work it bigger and bigger and bigger. just like a politician. You start off with a little lie, and then you make it a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And then when people start questioning it, you change it and pretend you never said any of it. It never happened. My hubby's cousin is a Los Angeles, does YouTube full time, has 1.3 million subscribers. She started at the age of 15, is now 26. Well, good for your hubby's cousin, Gayla. That's cool. I have to wear a mask to be a YouTuber. I did too much crazy stuff growing up. People would be coming at me out of the woodwork. Well, there are a lot of channels out there, Kitty Q, where the person who is actually the creator, you never see them ever. They're never on camera. It's you just hear their voice. They put together a video and then they lay down an audio track. And I know of quite a few channels where I've never seen the YouTube creator at all. I couldn't tell you, what their ethnicity is or anything. I'm not even sure if some of them are female or male or if they refer to themselves as X or, whatever. Why I don't know. But you don't have to be on camera. There's ways to being successful at this where you got to be a good storyteller. That's the first part. If you can't tell a good story and you can't, make people want to follow along and you can't put that hook in them, within like the certain, usually about 45 seconds into the video. I know how to do it all. I just choose not to. I like the small to medium sized community that I have here. If I put everybody together, I'd have from all different venues, I'd have over 235,000, people who follow me across all different platforms. But I don't do it. I don't even tell people on X necessarily when I'm posting there, which I try to avoid now because it's just filled full of freaking Nazis and people that are just hateful as hell. But that's what Elon wants. He wants it to be the town community that represents you. No, it doesn't represent me or you. YouTube is what you do full time, constantly work on content. Yeah. I was so sick the past 18 months, I haven't put much into my channel, but it's coming. I've got a lot in store. Wow, good for you, Broken Justice. I hope to see more, new content coming out soon. And likewise, there are people at, on a different scale, I'm just my tangent. Whoop, I'm veering off the fork what I was talking about. You have to, when it comes to YouTube, and social media, content and posting it as a career, and Gemma, and to you, Cheryl, and to others out there who I know who are creators, you've got to think about and put your mental health number one. The views and the money and the notoriety and the followers, all that will come. If you don't put your mental health first, foremost, your family and everybody else depends upon you having your mental health. You're no good to the rest of your life if you don't put your mental health first. And there are an awful lot of people out there that just get into this and then they get dragged down by the entire weight of it all. I gotta get that video out. It's gotta be out by this time. I gotta get this live stream. I gotta find somebody to be on panel. I have to make sure that this person who's, that follows the rules, all that. It's so massive that it weighs down on you. And then there's the comment section, which God, if I had my choice, I would never see the comment section at all because it's the most vulgar, disgusting, hateful stuff 90% of the time. There's that 10% gems, those who actually watch the content and enjoy your content. But you have to find a way to balance it all out. But mental health, your mental health has got to be number one. And then you can put together the rest of the puzzle pieces with it. Your content, what your goal is, where you want to be, your long-term, short-term, medium plans. But you got to take care of yourself first. I've realized that after, the first 5 years of doing this, I was just like, why am I doing it? And burnout is a real thing. Yeah, and when you start thinking about this thing right here, this computer, this internet presence, as being more important than, oh, I'll eat after I'm done, or I have to get this video edited. I have to have new content. If you think of that beforehand, before you take care of yourself, you're doomed. I'm telling that from a personal aspect. I was at one point, I was in this studio 6 days a week, some days 10 to 12 hours a day. If I wasn't here, I was making phone calls, emailing, everything else to verify, double verify, everything that I was talking about. And where did it get me? Did I gain subscribers? Yeah. But I mean, are they going to come save me from myself? Are they going to pick me up and take me to the hospital because I worked myself into an early grave? No. I mean, there's going to be maybe, a handful of them out there that would care, but they're not exactly next door. Mental health, number one. You got to take care of yourself. If it means you need to step away for a while, to get your mental health and your physical health in line, do it. Do it. Because again, you're not any good to anybody else if you drag yourself down into nothing. Vulnerable, then the positive, uncluttered mind space and outlook. Happiness is precisely too many out there are lined up to take it away at any given moment. That is true. Bullhorn Betty gets so much hatred. It's wrong. She really is a sweet, kind person who truly cares about the victims, especially children. That is what Mike Stevens says about Bullhorn Betty. I'm going to leave my comment about Bullhorn Betty out, other than to say that she is truly passionate about what she is doing. I'll give you that. I don't necessarily know if it's the other about children or families or anything else. I don't know the lady personally. I just know from what I've watched, but she definitely is passionate. I'll give you that, Mike. My anniversary for the channel is Halloween. I hope that you're there. YouTube is not real life. That is true. What did it say? 35,500K subs, only 13 watching. LOL. Yeah. Well, that's the time. But yeah, YouTube is not real. Generally, within the next couple of hours after the stream is over with, I'll have 100, 150 more views. It's the time that I'm actually doing it that fits best with my schedule and my life. It may not line up with a lot of people, especially my audience that is overseas. They're and a lot of them are 3 to 6 hours difference from when I'm streaming right now. So yeah, there's a lot of things I could do that would definitely be better. I could stream this in the early evening, but this is when it fits my time, my schedule. Inner Peas, good morning. Welcome to this morning's coffee brew. I hope you are doing well. But I certainly don't have all the answers, when it comes to how to become the next, Mr. Beast or anything like that. I mean, I know what Mr. Beast says that he did and what worked for him, and what works for one doesn't necessarily work for the next. That's the thing. Sometimes when you get that, you strike gold, you got to go with it. You can't You can't take your foot off the the gas on it. Follow up. Be consistent. I gave BHB a $2 super chat because she was looking for ideas of what to scream at Alex Murdaugh during his trial, and she used my idea and screamed it right in his ear. I was absolutely thrilled. Oh, I I didn't see that they said anything wrong, Gemma. It doesn't matter to me. I get to the point where it's like you know that people who leave comments and they say things in streams or in the comment section after a video, you read it and maybe they're picking on you or poking fun at you, personally on how you look or how you act or what you're doing or how you put together a story. If you would have done this, you would have been much more successful. Or if you did this, the people would like you more, or whatever. They're making a personal attack upon you. You have to look at it as why are they doing that? What is their motivation to do it? If somebody really wanted to help you and motivate you in a positive direction to help you, they wouldn't come out and say you'd be more popular or people would like you more if you did this. A friend would never come up to you and go, "Hey, you know, if you didn't wear stripes, people would think that you're a nicer person." What kind of friend would want to say that to you? If somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, I really don't like your hairstyle. Maybe you should change it to that." What kind of friend do you need that would say something like that to you? You may have a friend to say, what would be cute is, this style of clothing or this haircut, or if you did this, maybe that would work, for your content. Giving you suggestions, moving you in a positive direction, not being personally attacking, you for it. So when I see those things in the comment sections or in live streams, I just brush it off. You have to have thick skin to do this. You're not convinced that Alex Murdaugh was guilty, Mike? I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you this much though: if the clerk really did, interact, and talk to the jury, Murdaugh got screwed. Now, I don't know if he's. I have some questions about his murder conviction as well. But what I don't have any, questioning about is when it comes to Alex and his embezzlement and theft of money from his clients and from his law firm. I don't have any doubt about that at all. There was so much concrete evidence, on that part of it, and that alone, he'll get more than enough time. He'll probably die in prison from the convictions on that alone. Even if they don't give him a new trial and he just takes a plea to a lesser charge, manslaughter instead. You add 20 years, and it doesn't run concurrently. You know, he's going to die in prison. He's a penniless fool now. He's guilty of embezzlement. Oh yeah, he is. Alex Murdaugh, guilty as the sun comes up. My grandfather used to say that to me. 5 a.m. comes mighty early in the morning, and you're as guilty as the sun comes up. I never quite understood that one, but I always understood 5 a.m. or 3 a.m. It depends upon the time of day. Like you needed to do something tomorrow. 3 a.m. comes mighty early in the morning. Okay, Grandpa, thank you. I was watching the Elvis movie this morning. My mom loved Elvis. That's cool. I think Alex killed his wife, but I've always thought Buster killed his brother. Why switch guns? Hmm. Yeah, the drugs definitely played into it, Mike. But I think the also greed. There's greed and then the drugs. I come to you because I totally trust you. I know you will never steer me wrong. Well, I hope not, that I never do. And thank you, Broken Justice. I keep on want to say your name. Sorry. I have to pause and think really quick. Broken Justice. I don't think Buster has what it would take to kill. No, I know one murderer personally, and I never thought that he'd kill mine and my wife's friend, but he did. He was just a lost soul, but nobody thought that he was a violent individual. No one thought that he was capable of murder, but he did it anyways in the most horrific manner possible. He didn't just pull a gun and shoot him. He beat him to death with a rock and a piece of iron bar. But you never really know someone and what they're capable of until push comes to shove, as they say, right? Will's an amazing. I've always loved being here, and he has always explained everything so clearly that it helps me to process the information. Well, thank you, Gemma. Why would Buster kill his brother and be part of the seeing his mother killed by his father? Oh, we can all stand on the outside, and look in on these stories, but we learn so much from the court transcripts and the evidence and everything else, but we never really know the true dynamic of what was going on inside of a family. For instance, another example, good old Barry Mountain Lion Morphew. What was really going on in that household leading up to it? Suzanne's eventual disappearance and murder. What was Barry doing? He did some pretty freaking sketchy shit beforehand. He had some very questionable business practices. But at the same time, she's still there. She was still communicating with friends, and none of them were willing to come forward and say 100% of everything that they talked about. So we only get partial one side of the story. We don't have the whole story. I don't know of any friends of Barry. Does he have any friends? I don't think so, but maybe he does. But or somebody that he felt comfortable to talk to. So without knowing the actual person and being there, we only get so much of a sneak peek of the actual dynamic of the household itself. Now, do I think Barry killed Suzanne? 100%. I think that Barry is guilty of murdering Suzanne, but the likelihood of us ever getting justice for Suzanne is slim to none because the state screwed it up. I can't believe family vlogs garner views. Or that guy with two bulldogs. Not for me. Can't believe many vlogs garner views. Yeah. I will forever give about my mom and my dad till I see them again. You're not alone, Peas. You're not alone. That's true. Isn't there a new Murdaugh movie on Hulu? Bill Pullman plays Murdaugh. I don't know, Francie. I never watched television. I think the last time I watched anything on television, it was the stories from Death Row on Netflix. It's like a documentary. multiple part documentary, stories from death row. I think it's the last thing I watched, and that was probably 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I don't watch the evening news. I avoid the news like crazy. If I ever do watch anything on television, it's usually a documentary. And I watch a lot of History Channel when I used to, um, and Discovery Channel. I have never enjoyed reality TV in any shape or fashion at all. I've known a couple of people on reality shows. A friend of a friend was just on the last, was it Golden Bachelorette? I think she was on or something like that. I think that's what it's called, Golden Bachelorette, like this past season. But I know a guy who was on one of the original like a motorcycle build off, like things on Discovery Channel. But I don't watch them. I only watch TV because my husband loves watching movies. Well, my wife likes to watch television. I just sit and read. Nothing beats a good book. You can it's like your own TV show playing in your mind. You can imagine, put yourself into that world where you can picture the living room when they're talking about how they, maybe it was two people fighting over a gun, and you can kind of make up your mind what the coffee table or couch looked like, and what pictures were on the wall as they these two people scuffled for the gun, and then the gun went off. What was the initial thought of the one person who didn't get shot? What was the smell of that gunpowder? Was there another smell of the other person's perfume or aftershave or something else? What I'm talking about with a good book is you can put all that in your mind as you read through the entire story. That's why books are important. More important today, because once it's written down, you can't change it from the book you have, the printed word in your hand. Where everything on the internet today, it's a story. Tomorrow, it's been edited or it's been deleted and it never happened. Oh, the Jersey Shore. Well, good, Cement Shoes. So we have another season of jokes about the Jersey Shore that we can add to our trivia night. You're usually doing a puzzle. You love puzzles. That's cool. You just found out that Bobby Caldwell wasn't black? Really? Hmm. Excuse me. Hmm. The commercials alone traumatized Cement Shoes. Can't imagine sitting through an actual episode. That's funny. Yeah, I've never seen a single episode of from beginning to end of The Sopranos. I've never seen an episode of Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad. Um, Last full show of like not season but an actual episode of a TV show that I watched was the first season of The Walking Dead. It was one episode of the very first season. Although I mean, everybody around me has watched every damn one of them and all the spin-offs, and they're constantly talking about it, but I've never seen them. Big puzzles, I did was 3,000 pieces. It was all Marvel characters. Oh, that's cool. I can't remember the last time I did a puzzle. I used to do puzzles with my grandfather. Um, he had a table, and then it was made out of well, the table was made out of wood, but then he had a sheet of plywood that he set on top of it, and he'd do puzzles on it. And then whenever he got bored of it, he had a big piece of plexiglass that he had set over the top of it, so the cats wouldn't knock all the pieces off the floor on the floor or whatever. My mother-in-law loves puzzles. She's always doing one. I bought multiple puzzles for my mother, but she's never even bothered to open them. They'd have to snap me with a chair with my eyes forced open like Clockwork Orange to make me sit through the Jersey Shore or the Kardashians. The super complicated mazes keeps your mind active. That's what's important. Doesn't matter, if you read or if you're into puzzles or knitting, cross stitching, um, diving into trying to solve cold cases, whatever you need to do, keep your mind active. It's important. A lot of people that retire and then they're just like, I'm not going to do anything. They might, one day a week go out and play 9 holes of golf or something, and that's it. And then they just sit there and they mindlessly take in whatever the hell's coming off of the evening news of their choosing. And they're all very shortly lived afterwards. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up this morning's coffee brew here. I want to really again thank everybody. But if you'll give this a thumbs up before I end, I'd appreciate that. But don't forget tomorrow night for trivia. Again, that's at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 o'clock, Mountain, 7 o'clock on the East Coast of the United States. So judge accordingly for that. And all the questions tomorrow on trivia, all 20 questions are on serial killers. It's a serial killer IQ test, not their IQ, but how well do you know serial killers? And unfortunately, some people are going to find it very difficult for trivia night because a lot of these are really obscure things about serial killers. They're not the most publicized things, or quirks or things that they've done or what they, were into, but they're all documented by at least 3 sources. But again, 20 questions on the trivia night is normal. And I hope to see you again for trivia tomorrow. In the meantime, if I don't, or if I do, have a great day today. And I will see you all later. Bye.